Hey there, I'm Mags, also known as the Marketer Whisperer. If you've ever felt the doubts and pressures of leadership starting to sap your confidence and passion for this amazing job, then this podcast is for you. As a former marketer myself, I've lived through the chaos of consumer brands for over 16 years, so I do get what you're going through. And that's enough to leave any smart and driven marketer feeling like a burnt out version of their former self. But it doesn't have to be this way. So on this show, I'll be sharing pragmatic tips and also real stories to help you feeling confident, creative, and passionate about marketing leadership again. Today, I want to tell you the true story of Emma. So she's a brand manager, a 28-year-old brand manager working in the foods and drinks industry. She's got a vibrant smile, she's warm, she often lights up the office, but beneath her cheerful personality lies a constant battle with self-doubt. And she accomplishes a lot of things at work and in her life, a lot of things that she doesn't really think as big deals, in fact. And despite that, and a reputation for being friendly, helpful, funny, and intelligent, Emma grapples with an ever-present feeling of inadequacy, and that's haunted her for years. She thrives on her role, managing a prominent brand in this scale-up organization, and yet her internal dialogue whispers doubts about her capabilities. She can't shake the belief that someone else could do her job better, that promotions elude her, that she get overlooked for promotions, and she remains unseen by those who matter most in her career advancement. And these self-imposed pressures have tethered her confidence and perpetuated a cycle of anxiety. No one but Emma sees it. No one but her. So one day, an email from the marketing director lands in her inbox, requesting a discussion about the brand plan she's been meticulously crafting since last Tuesday. Her heart races as the familiar waves of stress wash over her. It's as if a part of her mind, is waving red flags, warning her that this meeting could unveil her marketing incompetence. And as she prepares for the discussion, her thoughts are consumed with fears of being exposed as a total fraud. In the meeting with the marketing director, Emma finds herself in a familiar mode, that of a people pleaser. So the marketing director starts the meeting by sharing his observations and views on the storytelling angle that she had used and some of the conclusions she had drawn out of the focus group insights they got the previous week. Quite challenging to hear, and she feels some of it is misconstrued and incorrect based on conversations she had with a cross-functional team earlier this week when they discussed all the outcomes of the research. Emma's mind is racing as the sheer amount of rework and changes appears very clear. She nods in agreement with every suggestion the director makes, even if it clashes with her vision of the plan to grow her brand. So for a split second, she hesitates to express her true opinions, fearing that her ideas might be deemed inadequate, or worse, stupid. Each nod feels like another step deeper into the facade she's built around herself. It feels too late now, and that she's missed the window once again. And she gives up the mind battle to simply follow the guidance of the director. It'll save her time, surely. Less back and forth by email and discussion. That'll do. So back at her desk, the weight of her suppressed opinions lingers. She glances at her inbox for a moment, kind of a moment of digital distraction, until she sees an email from the head of category asking her to help out on a shopper market research piece related to her brand. She isn't quite sure what she's asked to do, but knows the category team is under-resourced and under pressure, so she assumes she'll have to take a bigger leading role that would be appropriate. She's already overburdened with tasks, and yet she agrees to take on this extra project to keep everyone happy and avoid disappointing anyone, which she knows might have repercussions on how she's perceived in the office and therefore future promotions. Her people-pleasing tendencies push her boundaries to the limit, causing her to shoulder more than her fair share. Her desk becomes a battlefield of deadlines and priorities, each one a testament to her inability to say no. Late nights at the office become a norm. She diligently tackles her growing to-do list, and she's driven by the desire to prove herself, but the fear of disappointing others keeps her from standing up for her own needs. Emma sacrifices her own well-being to maintain the appearance of accommodating every request. And at home, the cycle continues. She procrastinates on critical tasks, convincing herself that delaying them will somehow lead to a better outcome. Her fear of not meeting expectations immobilizes her, and she spirals further into self-doubt. She cancels the plans with Kathy and Jen for tonight, convinced that she needs to focus solely on work. Her social life dwindles, and so does her sense of balance and fulfillment. Emma's journey is all too familiar for those trapped in the people-pleasing cycle, and I know that very well because I've been there. She seems trapped in this story that I mentioned to you, that I told. She's trapped in a web of self-imposed pressures. Nobody else but her put these pressures on her. Her every action basically is dictated by the fear of disappointing others. That's quite common. And her story, which is her story, but actually quite resembles the story of other brand managers I've talked to, it exemplifies the challenges that many face when striving for perfection in the eyes of those around them. And often, it's at the cost of their own well-being. And I have battled with many disruptive people-pleasing tendencies myself, and I help others to have a handle on this syndrome. It is a syndrome, the people-pleasing thing. It is a syndrome. And the way the day described here about Emma isn't an unusual day. Unfortunately, it's kind of a normal working day for her, for you, and it was for me. So I invite you now, having heard the story of Emma, to reflect on your own work life. Are you inadvertently becoming trapped in patterns similar to hers? Is her story reminding you of the importance of being yourself, asserting your opinions, recognizing your self-worth? It's also, I think, a testament to the need of a healthier balance between us dedicating, our efforts to our careers, but also our own mental and emotional wellness. So if you are a team leader, please be aware of your staff that's battling with people-pleasing habits. Shedding the weight of it is the key to understanding how people can perform better and the key to outstanding leadership. And they're capable of it. They just need a hand and to know that they are seen, heard, and to learn how to remove the pressure. Your brands, if you work in marketing and listening to the podcast, brands need strong leaders. They need people who defend, their identity, who understand their purpose, their essence, and their promises. If marketeers are weak and not in the lead, brands will suffer. So it's as much about personal development and growth and feeling good about ourselves at work and in life as it is about performing and pushing your brands to a better place. So if you need any help and want to manage your disrupting feelings, stay agile in the face of challenges, or marshal a positive outlook on you, I'm here. You can just send me a private message and I will respond to you. Have a great day and start saying no. And thank you for joining me today. I hope it's been really useful to you. I've got one request. I'd love if you could rate this podcast because it really does help to reach more emerging leaders like you out there. So also, if you want to get in touch with me personally to discuss one-to-one, group coaching or workshops opportunities, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest. And my name is Magali Leroux. You can find it in the bio of the show. Thanks for listening and speak very soon. Thank you for joining me on another insightful episode of The Marketing Whisperer. If you found value in this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a rating and a review on the podcast app of your choice. It really would help me reach more marketing leaders like you who could benefit from these insights in return. And I'd love if you would join upon my community of marketing leaders. All details are available on my website, startingblockscoaching.com. And lastly, if you're seeking one-to-one coaching, group workshops maybe for your team, leadership training, marketing expertise or career advice, basically everything that makes you a better marketing leader, feel free to get in touch with me on LinkedIn. Search for Magali Leroux. I don't know how else to pronounce it to make it easier. Speak soon.